Hello, hello, hello. This is Jen from JenHannagans. I need to turn off my notifications when I turn this video on because it's distracting. Hannah and I, we have been on WW for 16 months. We have lost a combined total of like 170 pounds. 77 of that was mine. So actually maybe it's more than 170 pounds because maybe it's 180, whatever. It's a lot. And Hannah posted her weight story a few weeks ago. And so I'm just going to give you mine. I got to turn these notifications off. Okay, I will say that in high school, I was a pretty normal sized kid. I was a little bit bigger than the rest of my friends, but not by much. And I remember weight started to become a thing for me when I was 16 and I was 130 pounds. And my friends around me were 90 and 95, 100 pounds at the most. I knew that my DNA was not in favor of me staying small. And so I think from the time that I was young, I worried about it. As I got older, of course, I gained weight and, you know, nothing major. But when I got pregnant my junior year with my son, and I remember when he was born, I weighed 200 pounds, I think. And after that, I just kind of went up because my, I started working at KFC and I was drinking soda all the time and eating bad food. And it was just, you know, a bad deal. I was in college and working. And so I was just busy and just didn't really care anything about my health. All of a sudden, like it would bother me and I would go on a crash diet. I would obsess over it. I would do all kinds of crazy things to try to lose weight. So when I met my husband, I was in that 200 range and he proposed to me and our wedding was set to be just a few months later. So with that happening, I went just crazy, just trying to get the weight off. We got married. I was 184. I had lost about 20 pounds before we got married. And I, you know, kind of just settled in to being married and it was comfortable and it was like, okay, you know, we're married now. I don't have to worry about this, but at least that was like at the beginning. But, and then I got pregnant with my daughter really soon after. So, I just wasn't paying that much attention to my weight anymore. I mean, of course it was there at the back of my mind, you know, as I was gaining weight during a pregnancy. And when my daughter was born, it hit me full force. It was like, but I will say, that was because there was comments from people in our lives that wanted to say, you know, negative things about my weight, negative things about if I were thinner, that I'd be prettier, you know, just the things. You guys know. You guys know what things I'm talking about. But those things were being said to me. And so I was hearing them so often. This is going to get annoying. I'm sorry. I was hearing them so often that it was getting to be very discouraging. And, you know, even during my pregnancy, like I heard it all the time. So when she was born, I started obsessing. You know, I was still hearing those comments. And so I remember her not being very old at all. And I don't even think I had a C-section. So I don't even think I had the all clear to even be working out. And I was exercising all of the time. I was on the scale every single day. I was doing everything I could, barely eating, just destructive things to lose weight. And my daughter was suffering for it. I was breastfeeding at the time. And in my obsession, all I could think of was losing the weight. And she was suffering because I wasn't making very much breast milk. And so it was a whole big situation and it all came from this obsession to be smaller. Well, I got to the point that I was so fed up with hearing people say things to me that I went something flipped and I went to the other end of the spectrum. I'm like, oh man, oh, that's not my hair. What is it? Oh, that's that. I was like, what's that weird hair sticking out there? I went to the other side of things and I was like, these people are not going to tell me how I should feel about my body anymore. And I began to like convince myself that I was completely fine with my weight. I didn't care if I gained weight. I was healthy, yada, yada, even though I had no basis for saying that I was healthy because I had not gone to the doctor. I didn't know if I was healthy. I didn't know what my numbers were. I just was steady gaining weight. My husband is very, very sweet. And so he just never ever said anything about my weight as it climbed and climbed and climbed. So anyway, I think I was about 230, 240, 240, maybe 250. Oh my, I don't know. And Hannah and I had become friends and she wanted to lose some weight and had done 17-day diet in the past. And so she asked me if I would do that with her, and we did. And I had, up until this point, I had not been able to conceive another child after my daughter. And I had been diagnosed with PCOS. And so I was thinking, well, you know, I just won't tell anybody that we're losing weight. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just gonna pretend like this is just kind of happening because I don't want anyone to know that I'm losing weight. Because I don't want anyone to know that their comments bothered me. So, we went on 17-day diet, and the one good thing about 17-day diet was that it did like bring to our attention just the nutrition and just getting in the right nutrition. I think that we really started thinking a little bit more about that. When I was on 17-day diet, I obviously lost enough weight and my health was a little bit better, and I was able to finally get pregnant with my second daughter. A third child, second daughter, fourth child. Technically, we adopted one somewhere in between there. It's fine. We have 6 kids. 2 of them are not biological. Beautiful blessings. But anyway, I was able to get pregnant with her. And because of that, we just kind of fell off of 17-day diet. I mean, I was pregnant. So, and you know, there was just a lot going on at that time. And so I'm trying to make this not such a weird angle. So I ended up during that pregnancy, I ended up with gestational diabetes, and it was a pretty bad case. But I was on it. Was I? Yes, I believe I was on insulin with her. And then shortly after she was born, I got pregnant again. In that case, I had gestational diabetes again, and it was terrible. And I think actually the entire pregnancy, we never got my numbers under control. They were constantly having to raise my insulin. I was on insulin 4 times a day. And then I ended up having to have an emergency C-section because of just complications from gestational diabetes. After my son was born, the doctor wanted me to leave the hospital with, on insulin because she was convinced that I would have diabetes. And that's when it like hit me. I'm like, I don't want to live like this. I want to finally get control over this, and I want to do it because of my health, not because of vanity, not because of somebody's comments, not because I hate myself, but because I love myself and I want to love myself. I was trying to love myself. I love my children, I love my family, and I want to live a good life. That's what it came down to. I am ready to live a good life. And so, everybody else in my life convinced that I just didn't want to lose weight. I was, you know, totally fine. I was confident. I was happy. And I had myself convinced that I was confident and fine with it. But looking back, that feeling came from such a negative place. Like there was definitely a negativity and just an unhappiness there that I was trying to cover up with this feeling of like, you're not going to say nothing to me. I'm confident, yada, yada. And so we started WW, and I was still nursing at the time. So I started on 41 points. And I remember thinking, how in the world am I going to do this? Because my current eating at that time, there's no way I could have stayed within 41 points, let alone the 23 points I'm on now. And so it was a slow process. Like I only was able to nurse for a little while because my son had cleft palate and was not able to nurse. And so, even after I wasn't nursing anymore, I stayed on that 41 points because that's what I could manage. Like I was like, okay, I can do this. And so it definitely took a long process to get to the point where I could stay within 23 points a day. Even though normally I don't even do that. I normally am at 30 because I use my weeklies throughout the week. But just because at my current eating at that time, I was just eating badly. I was just eating just whatever, you know, and not doing a whole lot of research into what I was eating. And so as we started WW, I'm like, you know what, I'll get there. And I just gave myself some time and I gave myself some grace. And so that's one of the things that we always tell people who are starting this for, you know, fresh and new, is that give yourself some time. Don't just try to jump in, and just slow weaning off of the bad things and then guiding yourself into the good stuff. It's not going to happen overnight. And also we say, if you're not willing to eat a certain way for the rest of your life, don't do it to lose weight, because it will not stay. And this is something I felt like I could do for the rest of my life. And I love that. I feel like I'm eating the things that I want. I've discovered so many new foods that I wouldn't have touched before. I know now my breakfast is always a bagel thin with cream cheese and turkey. I just put some deli turkey in the frying pan and eggs. And I love it. It's like, it just makes my day. So anyway, hopefully that wasn't too unorganized and confusing, and you guys can understand kind of where I came from through all this. Mainly my biggest thing was, I don't want to lose weight. I'm fine with how I am. So I think that there's probably some of you out there, I'm telling you, I got to turn those notifications off. Probably some of you out there that can relate to what I'm talking about, and to the comments of other people, and man, how they just mess with your mind. So anyway, that is all. I hope that you will subscribe to JenHannagans. We are getting this thing going. It's getting going. It's going. It's going. And we are well into our WW journey. And I think that there's a lot that this channel could offer. So if you would want to subscribe and comment and let us know where you're at, if you're just starting or if you've been at this for a while. Anyway, thank you for watching. Okay, two things I wanted to add. First, the biggest thing that I've learned through all of this is that it really does come down to taking care of our bodies, and that our bodies do a lot for us, and that we want to take care of them and to honor them. And I'm trying to teach my children that, and this whole journey has showed me how important it is, that I should learn that when I was younger, and we should do a better job of teaching our kids that, so they have more success and just better health as they get older. And the second thing I wanted to add was my starting weight and my current weight. My starting weight was 272 and my current weight is 195. I don't know what my goal weight will end up being. I feel very good at where I'm at, but we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, thank you for watching.